DC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining.
All right, welcome back everyone to the English coverage of the Kiev Major. We are here with game number 2 of a best of 3 between Digital Chaos, the former Onyx, and Team Liquid. This is going to be the round 3 mid in our Swiss bracket, so that means both of these teams went 1-1 with their best of 3s yesterday. I'm Android, being joined once again by Brax. What are you hoping to see this game?
I'm hoping to see a fantastic game.
DC's turn to pick.
Look like they know each other pretty well. We've got
Monkey
the
King.
full band from Team Surprises there.
Liquid's turn to pick.
Team Chaos. Starting it off with the Monkey King yet again.
Yep, DC definitely feel like they can get a lot of use out of that. Dubu had a pretty fantastic monkey game last time. Started off a little bit slow, but eventually just came online, got the Basher, got the Shadow Blade, a couple of well-placed Wukong's commands, really turned those fights. So DC, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Team Liquid taking their time deciding on this first pick.
Curious what they picked to deal with. Keeper of the Light was a pretty common hero that kind of push Monkey King outside of his circle when he ults, so it cancels that ultimate. And yeah, I mean, he's a very difficult hero to deal with, especially with tree hopping mechanics. Saw earlier IGV, VGJ, they used Night Stalker Aghanims to kind of find Monkey King and hunt him down, and all these team fights seem to work pretty well.
Yeah. Is that Liquid style? You think they'd go for a Night Stalker here?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
Crystal Maiden.
Yeah, they're going to go in for the Crystal Maiden, so again, just picking it up. It's a pretty common support. Liquid are running it a ton, picking it up for both GH God and Kuroki, so not sure who's going to be getting to play it this time, but the Doom pickup here, that's a guy we don't see much of in the scene these days.
Definitely not the most common hero, but Liquid were running it yesterday on Mind Control, playing the offlane Doom, getting really tanky, and he's a hero that create a lot of pressure once he gets his levels into Scorched Earth. Very good at diving, very tanky, does a lot of damage, and now comes the Abaddon again. Actually is a fantastic Abaddon counter. Once you get Aghanim Scepter on, cancels his ult, and Abaddon just can't do anything.
Yeah, we saw, Bulba playing pretty well on the Abaddon because he could just go in, got that blade mail, he could sponge up a ton of damage, pop his ult, and, kind of shield his team from that. But like you mentioned, when Doom actually gets that Ags, you can just take Abaddon right out of these fights. So something DC has to deal with. Obviously, they'll have a pretty big window before Doom is going to be able to farm up that Ags to get the most out of their ABBA, and we'll see what DC can do. Do they have to go for more of a fast-paced, high-octane strat this time, or can they play slow and steady?
Well, they definitely have options to both right now. The Abaddon enables them to group up, take some towers, but he's also very, very strong in the he still has options to itemize around the Doombringer if he does get extremely farmed in Doom. He doesn't necessarily want to rush the Aghanims right away. He still wants a lot of other smaller team items before he decide to build that.
DC's turn to ban.
DC ban out the Naga Siren and the Terrorblade, two big late game cores that I like to pick up quite often.
Yeah, DC are just saying no pushing. No one's going to be doing any sort of pushing going on, but Liquid, they'll find a way around that here. Probably going to be showing a little bit more what they're doing, a little more of their strategy. Still yet to pick up their mid, their core, their other offlaner, or their other support rather. So we'll see. Again, other heroes still in the mix. I know GH likes to play himself a Sand King. Potentially could be good at gap closing, but they're going to go back in Earthshaker. Going to be given a lot of love here. That's probably going to be GH's hero, and we will have Kuroki on the CM.
Turn to pick.
Picking up that Shaker again, just like last game, and DC respond with the Vengeful Spirit. Pretty good hero for grouping with Hive. Out comes Spectre. Okay.
DC's turn to
pick. That was DC's last ban against Liquid last game, but this time they're not going to wait for last pick. They're going to go straight in and grab their Spectre now. So how's that going to set the pace of the game?
Well, DC they have the option of very heavily, like a very push-heavy team. Abaddon decides to go
5 seconds
just like last game. And just seeing lots of Solar Crest, and yep, out comes Shadow Fiend. This is going to be a very, very push-heavy lineup from DC.
Yep.
And I don't think Team Liquid quite have the tools to that just yet.
Liquid gonna be a little bit more slower paced, again with the off-lane Doom, with the safe lane Spectre. They just kind of want to take their time and farm up. Earthshaker needs his blink before he's gonna have a huge impact, so I feel like the first couple levels of this game, or the first 10-15 minutes, are gonna be DC trying to get active, trying to move, try to push out lanes, take towers, go for smoke ganks, and Liquid just want to apply the brake pedal and farm for as long as possible.
Yeah, I think DC are going for, or even before they saw the Spectre, it kind of like plays into what they were already going to, this is like their default playstyle. They have this strong 5-man team that's very capable of taking these early engagements, taking these towers, and Team Liquid picks Spectre, one of the better late game heroes for sure. But Spectre is a hero that cannot just AFK farm Radiance. You have to be able to fight, to be able to get these haunt kills and get involved in these team fights, because once the push comes from DC, it's not going to be very top at all. Team Liquid are going to either need to be able to take the engagement or split push, and they don't have the highest tower damage heroes right now. When the split push does come out, if that is their response to it, they're not going to be able to trade as effectively as DC. They have massive amounts of physical damage. A batter give attack speed to your entire team as well. Vengeful Spirit, Shadow Fiend already very high physical damage. I actually have no idea what you want to play here with Miracle. Maybe they'll go back for something like the Ember Spirit, but it's not very good into the Abaddon and Shadow Fiend. This looks pretty worrisome, actually.
Yeah, there's still the option to go back in for the Invoker, but again, that has its limits. That has, a time frame where it needs to come online, and late game, it's a beast. And if Team Liquid can actually push this out to 40-45 minutes, Spectre is going to be a big problem. Doom is going to be larger than life. But it's going to take time to get there, and DC, they're going to get active very early. Hopefully Abed can just start out strong with his Shadow Fiend and carry his team like we've seen before. So Vengeful Spirit, is that going to be our secondary support or the core here, you think?
I imagine it's going to core, but I could be wrong. They might decide that, hey, pick something else to help secure a bit of a late game, because early game looks pretty good right now. But we'll have to see. Spectre, very, very good against Monkey King. He can find him in the tree, go on him right away, try to kill him off really quickly. But yeah, Team Liquid, they're gonna have to find some way to fight, way to take these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, do they have to sit? How can the Spectre get online faster? We've seen kind of people departing from that Radiance build, going into the Vanguard Diffusal build to get Spectre up and mobile right at level 6 when she has the Haunt, but it's still really tricky to get her active, especially when DC are going to be jumping around. Monkey King can probably start things off and get some good initiations on her. Abaddon should be giving her a little bit of a problem there, just constantly chasing her down and popping shields, and wow. DC go in, so it will be that core Venge.
Core Venge with those Witch Doctors, more sustained to help their push.
They are going to be pushing heal so quickly.
It's going to come pretty quick, and that Witch Doctor heal, very, very good at dealing with all this outspam and the Spectre Radiance for when it does come out. I think Team Liquid, they aren't going to be able to delay the push by outspamming them. They're going to need something to help take the fight, because there's just so much sustain from Team.
Reserve time.
Does an Invoker work here, or is that a little too passive?
It still falls into the same category a lot of time. So it's probably not something that they'll want to go for. You never know. Maybe they feel like they can get away from it. They actually did have an Invoker with the Doom and Spectre Tricore yesterday. Possibility.
What about something real nasty? Okay. I was going to say Viper, but Tinker works as well. I mean, I guess that's a little bit of split push, so when DC are all wadded together chasing someone down, Tinker can eventually go off and do his own thing in another lane. Also, can be a pretty good fighter if he gets up that Aghanim Scepter. Getting that blind out onto all of DC's very right-click heavy heroes is going to be nasty, but I'm liking DC's draft just a little bit more. It seems more straightforward to execute.
Yeah, it's very clear what they want to do. Team Liquid, though, their team fight is not weak at all. Doombringer can get very tanky, very quick in the game. Spectre's Haunt gives you so much information. One of the very few spells left in Dota. A lot of the time when they nerf the heroes, like when they nerf Mirana, Arrow gives less vision, Orb gives less vision. All these spells start to lose vision. Trolls, Rolling Axes no longer give vision. And Spectre is one of the heroes that still retains that vision. And it's so important to play these fights because it lets you cast your spells better, it lets you position better, it lets you know where your key targets that you can actually go on kill are. But Tinker is definitely going to have to put in quite a bit of work this game, but very skilled player himself, so just have to see. I think if I think no matter what, this game is going to go very hard for Team Liquid, but they're a very good team and they can definitely pull it off.
Yep, not going to be an easy one, not necessarily like, oh, DC just completely dropped the ball and drafted 5 nonsense heroes. This is a pretty cohesive draft coming out of both sides, but yeah, it's going to be a matter of can DC get that early momentum they need to start their push off? Can they get a couple of really nice early kills, early ganks? Demon smoked up, just going to run right into GH here, so yep, this is it. Again, game number 2 in a best of 3 between DC, the former Onyx, and Liquid here. This is going to be determining seeding. All teams want to be getting that gold seed, that top slot, as we move on to the main event. So, yeah, this could be a 2-0 for Team DC. Do you think Liquid can take one, or do you think this is just going to be a difference in skill?
I mean, it's still anyone's game. But we can see, like, the drafts are so different. They're kind of like opposites. You know, one team wants to play this extreme late game, and the other team wants to really group up and push, but their late game also isn't bad. Shadow Fiend, Venge Core isn't even the bad. They're not horrible in the late game. They're actually very strong, but they just offer more power at different stages of the game, right? SF, lots of physical damage, can hit these buildings pretty early on, wave clear, and Team Liquid just need to they need to find a way to be able to take these fights for when DC come to their towers, because if they concede everything, that opens up Roshan for Team DC, and of course, their lineup is extremely good at that too, with the high physical damage, minus armor, a bad attack speed. That's when it kind of gets out of hand for them.
Alright, so game starting off, just a 1-1 split with the runes, nothing too fancy. GH poking around, pops down some vision here, just gonna be keeping eyes on the shrine. Quick pause coming out. Hopefully DC aren't having any more lag issues, or Liquid aren't taking their place, but everyone getting set up here. In terms of lanes, what are going to be the ones to keep your eyes on? What's going to be the most challenging lanes to execute?
I think that Team Liquid, they definitely want to secure their safe lane, but DC do happen to rotate down Witch Doctor or Monkey King. It get out of hand pretty quickly, so we'll just have to see how they manage that. I imagine Monkey King's going to sit in the safe lane for now. He's a nice tree. He's going to zone out Doom, make him jungle a bit, and then maybe level at like 3 or 4 minutes, he'll probably go down to the bottom lane. As we can see, Witch Doctor starting in the off lane with our Harry Potter and Madden Bulba.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
the mid lane is actually very Tinker favored. Shadow. Especially nowadays, people don't really go for these early March levels because the jungle is a bit more split out, so they focus a bit more on laning.
Yeah, definitely going to be difficult for Shadow Fiend to get in there and avoid harass and actually get his souls stacked up. So might be a bit of a slower start for Abed, but we've definitely seen him come back from crippling starts and turn into this godlike beast. So can't tap him out no matter what kind of laning start he gets. Down in this bottom lane, like you talked about, Witch Doctor just keeping his levels soaked up, Bulba sponging a little bit of damage, but with GH and Kuroki here splitting the XP with the Spectre, it's going to be a while before my man actually gets those levels up. Fissure flips onto both, but again, Witch Doctor and Abba aren't too concerned with that. Back towards the mid, Abed just going to be eating up a tango, getting himself back to health, and yeah, still struggling to get some souls for himself. Finally finds one.
It's not an easy match for sure. So, DC, they're doing pretty well in this offlane here. Liquid are spending a lot of time trying to zone out the Witch Doctor. If they can ever catch Witch Doctor, he will die. He's not tanky like his Baden friend. But Matumba Man is still farming pretty well in the lane. It's not total free farm like Mason has in the safe lane, but it's still pretty good. Spectre, you definitely expect this hero to get kind of shut down. He's pretty abusable in these early parts of the game.
Abed will taunt out as he makes up to his high ground. And yeah, talking a bit about the offlane, we do have Mind Control just going to be spending most of his time in this jungly area, maybe poking his head into lane. But Mason on the Venge, getting a lot of free farm. What's, you know, for Liquid, what do they have to watch out for? What's Venge's threshold going to be where they might say, you know, we have to gank this Venge. This Venge is getting out of control.
Well, it'll never be that. It'll always be we need to secure our Spectre some way, but In order to do that, they'll have to go up to Venge's lane probably. Venge is pretty in control of this lane. She's going to get her early items and be really hard for either. I think Liquid are just going to entirely focus on Spectre's lane, trying to give him the best possible lane setup he can get, but it's going to prove extremely difficult when DC get their levels up and they start to go through. But as I say, that Bulba might be in some trouble here. It's poison up.
Yep, he's getting low, trapped on one side of the fissure. Want to keep an eye on the Doom as well. He's getting low in the jungle, but Bulba, yeah, one more hit. It will be first blood going the way of GH, and Primal Spring comes down as Dubu actually abandons his chase onto the Doom. TP's down bottom, just trying to hold this, but just going to be soaking up a little bit of free experience as Bulba's now going to TP back in, but that's getting Spectre some good XP for herself. Ticks over to her level 3, but things going all right in that bottom lane for Liquid.
Yep, nice control there on the Abad. And that's definitely what they need to take control of their safe lane. They need to keep pushing Abaddon out, keep killing him, but now DC have rotated in and they've got their tri-lane here to kind of mess with the Spectre.
Yep, Monkey King gonna take this slow and steady. Has his level 3 just from soaking experience off of that Doom in the jungle. Keeping things annoying and pesty, and now mid lane there is gonna be a rotation forward. They got the Witch Doctor in the area, so maybe if Miracle pushes up real far could fall victim to a cast, but for now, Abed content just to finally get some last hits. Has only 7 to his name compared to the Tinker's 15. Miracle definitely having a very fun time as Tinker.
Yep, Mind Control has kind of taken back control over this top lane. He's got the excellent Satyr creep there, and he can actually lane just fine at 18 CS. Very well.
Yep, there's going to be a smoke gank of these two supports coming in towards the top. We'll see if this is going to be fruitful here, as again, Doom, even at only level 4, is still pretty hard to kill. So Doom, we're going to be moving forward. They start things off with the Venge stun. They got the Wave of Terror as well, cutting through his armor, and now they just got to keep him in place. Don't have any more damage spells, but the right clicks are going to be enough. Meanwhile, yeah, that's all they need. Down bottom, Bulba potentially going to go down here again. Is only level 3. Fissure traps him back. Crystal Maiden coming in from the back, looking for the Frostbite, but is going to have to retreat as he's taken too many tower shots. So it looks like Bulba might get off with a warning this time. Or not, as Crystal Maiden runs right back in. They go for the Nova, they get the Frostbite off. Now there will be a TP in from the Witch Doctor. They want to try to hold this. Fissure comes in, clips onto both, and Bulba's going to be able to chase back the heroes for now.
Really trying hard to keep this Abaddon in check down here. A nice TP in, saves him pretty much. The Auto, he's off to quite the rocky start. Tinker, not a fun matchup as we've said earlier. And it just gets worse and worse as levels get up on the Tinker, and he pretty much will want to head out into the jungle. And once that happens, DC might lose some pressure in their offlane. Dude is actually level 4 right now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, he's been hanging around. He really kept on top of the Doom when the Doom was firing the jungle, which was where he got a lot of his experience. Doom, about 5.5 now, getting pretty close to that level 6. Can Mind Control go for a solo kill once he picks that up, or is it not going to be powerful enough?
It's probably not going to be powerful.
Yeah, Boundless Strike comes in, Jingu Mastery's up, and one more hit means Mason secures his first kill of the game. They're going to transition right into tower pressure. We got a TP in coming from Kuroki, just holding everyone back with his Q, but it's going to be, again, good pressure coming out of DC's top lane. Mid lane looks real good for Liquid. The Tinker got what he needed, and Abed is still a little bit crippled. And bot lane, Bulba, he went down once, but there is still some good pressure onto the Spectre. He's not feeling free.
Yep, especially with that CM rotating top, pretty much free range for them.
Coconuts bouncing around. I mean, what's going to be the go point here? Clearly DC have a lineup that want to get active and want to push early. What are they waiting for? Is it levels? Is it going to be first round items?
They pretty much want to take control of the safe lane, and then once that frees up, then that means Monkey King can really rotate down to the bottom lane. Venge can also follow. And they'll look to make some play in the Abaddon lane, so they can try to kill the Spectre, force them out, and break open the tower. But for now, they just need to keep scaling, getting their levels. Team Liquid are doing a good job at defending their offlane tower. The tower is still very, very healthy. Doom has good levels. He did go down there, but he was trying to pull the creeps off so he wouldn't get denied a bunch of experience. Probably the worst thing. Mid lane though, Miracle going for the solo kill. Goodbye.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay, Miracle just goes right in. Abed really having a tough time here. Miracle just going to keep bottling up as we are missing kills left and right. I apologize on that as Mind Control just lets loose here. Again, only level 5. Doesn't even need to spend Doom for that. Just going to be a quick pick on the Monkey King. So all of a sudden, Liquid picking up some momentum. Mid lane, they've got GH postured up, going in for that aggressive fissure. Witch Doctor potentially could be trapped out here, although it's Shadow Fiend TPing back in. They've got to get this kill quickly, and it looks like they will be able to do so. Max Point and Laser just chunks him right down.
We got 2 early kills on the Tinker already.
Yep. That's a really good start. I mean, a farm Tinker is nothing to sneeze at. You can come online pretty early, and Abed is just having a really tough time up here in this mid. Up. First Haunt gonna be going in. There is a Doom on the vent. She can't turn things around with a stun. She's just running for her life. The Spectral Dagger on top of her, and she's just gonna get sit back and chained up. Finally, this vent will go down. Demon's gonna be burning as well, and well, Dubu jumps forward looking for something, but it's just gonna be him versus the world. They got the Jingu Mastery up, but yep. Miracle, meanwhile, continues his kill onto Abed. Abed is just chain dying here, and Miracle's off to a great start. Smoke gank up, and this is going to be pretty big. Bulba gets some space down bottom to push, but there will be a TP back forward for Mind Control. He's going to be salving up, and right back to pressuring this lane.
This Doombringer here looks extremely strong at this stage of the game. 1100 HP. He's got a ton of health regen from that Scorched Earth, and he can just run at everything right now.
Yeah, kind of beating the bat into his own game.
Yeah, exactly. And in the mid lane, we have the Tinker pretty much dominating the mid lane right now. SF does not want to be in this, especially with the roaming shaker. Even Haunt can come out to come kill him. He just wants to push the wave out, farm up the jungle. But I don't know if DC want that to happen, because they want to keep pressure on all these lanes so these supports can kind of move around. Venge needs some lane to be strong so she can TP in to reinforce it and play off that.
Down bottom, they are going to have a Primal Spring jumping forward. Kuroki is super low and does get killed off by that Boundless Strike. It's just a lowly Crystal Maiden, though. They might be able to turn this into a tier 1 tower, but it looks like there will be a TP up, because they want to defend this Earthshaker coming forward. The rest of Liquid trying to get in there and get aggressive. And they're just going to be able to zone him back as Tinker TP's in. Already with Boots of Travel. Man, this guy is farmed. 9 minutes in. He's ready to leave his lane and continue that pressure.
Yep, he's only got 1 bubble in his march right now, so he won't be farming extremely fast, but it's still so annoying for Tinker just to casually Boots of Travel into your lane, nuke you over and over.
Yeah. I mean, how do you control this Tinker right now? It seems like Miracle with that max level laser is the burst damage that Liquid so desperately need. You see there, 1 laser takes Abed down to half.
But later on in the game, they'll have things like Bench Swamp. Monkey King gives vision over the trees, so hopefully they can use some of these tools to kind of set up on him. Abaddon also here, they can kind of just charge through the march and not really worry about it, but Liquid are doing extremely well in all their lanes right now. There were a couple deaths early on, mainly on the Doom, but now Doom working towards his hand with Midas. He's got 2 levels. Once Doom hits these levels, he gets so tanky so quickly. I don't know. They just have what they need right now.
Yeah, Mind Control just chasing back Bulba. I don't think there's any real depth coming out there. Here we go. There is going to be Haunt coming forward. Yeah, that is a very dead Shadow Fiend. Abed, he just can't stay alive. They are focusing so many resources to deal with him. Now bottom lane, Bulba just completely forced back. They'd have to spend his borrowed time as Mind Control. It's just all up in it. TP gets canceled by the Boundless Strike, and it looks like Mind Control has met his match here. Jingu Mastery comes out. Is he actually juking this right now? Dubu gets vision back and will jump down the Primal Spring. Does him in. Bulba finally able to find that kill, but that was a little bit close for comfort there.
Yep, definitely. Forces tons of TP rotations, not the worst thing in the world. He was running under the tower, forces Bulba back. Does pay with his life for it, but yeah. What do? Not too upset about that, you know. The rest of the heroes are farming. Crystal Maiden has her level 6 right now. Earthshaker has some alone time in the top lane. That is Arcane Boost for the Blink Dagger. And we expect Vengeful Spirit to be one of these heroes that makes the rotation right away, but Venge pretty much confined to this top lane. Definitely not something he would prefer, but it's the way the game's playing out right now.
Yep, definitely the Midas Major here, as pretty much everyone has one queued up. Down bottom, Kuroki is going to be solo defending this tower, and Bulba's got to be a little bit tempted by that. Very, very squishy Crystal Maiden, but Bulba can't get too crazy without the help of his teammates. There will be a smoked up Monkey King, now with his level 6 available. Though, TP in from the Doom, making things very tricky to initiate on. There they go. They actually get the frostbite onto Dubu. Mr. Maiden immediately hops in with that freezing field. It's going to be zoning back the rest of DC. Benj gets doomed. There will be the net creep up onto Monkey King, but a really nice death ward by Demon might just be enough to take out Mind Control. They get the kill. G8 looking to man up on the Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor turns that right back around. Meanwhile, Miracle snaps up a kill onto Dubu, so... yeah, Monkey King goes down, trading for 2. Beating that Tinker, though, is so dangerous now. He's really getting a streak going for himself. 4-0.
Tinker and Spectre at the top of the net worth charts, exactly where they want to be. Spectre is so fond, actually, at 1700 gold already, and this season of the game is very good.
Yeah, look like she is going into that Radiant's not going to play the more, you know, get online fast build of the Vanguard Diffusal, but she thinks she can get the Radiance at a really viable time, and based on how the game is going for her so far, that's absolutely true.
Yep, should come out at a pretty good time this game. DC make a move to the bottom lane, but it's a bit spotted because of Team Liquid. They have a ward up top, and that spots that, hey, Benj isn't here, they're going to make a rotation down there. Heroically placing the ward out through the tower, sees the rotation, and they take the fight with you. But the goal that DC want is they want that tower. They want to be able to take control of this map, open up their map, and then it gives them more places on the map to farm, but they're unable to do it.
Top tower is under attack.
Yep, Tinker, meanwhile, gets 3 points up in his March of Machines. He's having some fun pushing in this top lane solo. Abed, gonna be scouted out here. This poor guy, he's just trying to live so hard. He's got 3 deaths already. GH dropping the fissure, and it looks like Abed will be left to his own devices here. He has picked up max souls, so the Necromastery finally doing some work for him, getting some more damage. Should be able to start his steady climb back into the game, still much lower on the net worth chart than you'd expect from him. Bottom TP in. Oh, could be in some trouble there. Kuroki just going to be moving forward. Look at the damage coming out. The burst is crazy right now in Liquid. All this ult now evaporated down for a minute. Mason's going to be rotating in, looking to get aggressive here. Just Midasing a creep. Going to be just biding this time as the marching machines start to roll forward.
Yep, that's so
Dire's
unfortunate.
middle tower
Comes down to rotate, looking for a play, and then the wave just gets moved.
Double damage Doom in the mid lane. Demon maybe looking to initiate with Paralyzing Cask, but Mind Control, Spidey Senses tingling, just backs off to safety. And DC, they just can't find any openings here. Liquid are playing so safe, and they've laned this near perfectly.
This lane's going to get extremely long now. And DC, they should feel really pressured. You know, they need to make the moves happen. They need to force these towers down, but every time it happens, Team there to march down.
So, I mean, what does this look like if the game pace continues just like this? It seems like Liquid, they got the lanes that they needed. DC having a couple of failed ganks. They've got some kills to their name, but Tinker's still getting out of control. Spectre's farming incredibly quickly. How did DC turn this around?
DC need to try to do what they're doing now.
Sparing no expense.
Yeah, this tower's been completely surrounded, and this is the kind of tower Tinker can't. Once it's been surrounded like that, it's way too dangerous to try to march it out. This is how DC will start taking it. But of course, Spectre is so close to that 3,000 gold at 16 minutes in the game. They're just going to trade towers.
Yeah, tier 1 for tier 1. Still some really good net worth going the way of Liquid. You got top 2 on the chart here. I mean, usually Spectre takes a little bit more time to top the chart than here. She's already 6,500 net worth at 16 minutes. Like you mentioned, Relic Gold's getting very, very close. And, I mean, we're probably looking at like a 20-22 minute Radiance if she keeps up this pace.
Sounds about right. And as it looks right now, there's just... DC will not have the items or the farm, or like the levels at all to deal with this Radiance Haunt. Witch Doctor pretty much just sitting on his boots, Raindrops, TP, Monkey King, same story, trying to build up to that Midas. Even Benj isn't that tanky yet. Shadow King, Haunt is going to do so much damage. Pretty much only the Abaddon is really safe from it. I don't know, this looks pretty grim at the pace it's going right now.
Yep. I mean, DC could definitely still blast this open with a couple of nice team fights, a couple of nice rotations. If they kill off the Tinker once or twice, if Spectre has a couple failed ganks, if they can burn some ultimates. I mean, DC are definitely still in this. I don't want to count them out just yet at 17 minutes, but it's a much trickier game to execute now that their lanes went a little poorly.
Yep, they're definitely not out, but the clock is ticking.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be the cutoff point? What's the point where it's going to be like, all right, DC just can't get anything. Liquid can just run them over.
If they lose the team fight when Radiant's Haunt comes out, I think.
So that point's coming up pretty quickly there. Spectre already with Relic Gold now, just needs about 1,000 to finish off that Radiance, and it's going to get pretty nasty. Matumba Man got a lot of freedom here. 3-0-2 on the Spectre, already with an Urn. Got the phase boost, the poor man shield, and yeah, Radiance not too far off as Miracle just goes in behind the tower. They will end up trading as, wow, that was an optimistic TP from the Venge. Matumba Man finishes her off with 1 hit. So
nice haunt there, pretty much. Let's get the 2-for-1 trade.
Yep, I mean, getting down the Tinker is super important, but trading for Mason's Venge is not exactly what you want to do either. Vengeful Spirit, right. At least.
They killed the decoy. The real carries here.
Regen rune denied by Demon, making sure no one's getting healthy. Now Bulba just charging through the forest, gonna get lots of pings from his teammate. They go in, really able to find this ward. It's gonna be some nice vision taken out, but is it gonna cost Bulba his life here? He's going to get blasted low. They're holding on to that Doom. Bulba's just sitting back, and it looks like they'll let him off with a warning. DC continue to get aggressive and continue to try to push this, but all of Liquid are waiting at this mid tower.
Dire's top tower is under
there
attack.
into the Witch Doctor cask and all the monkey nonsense that comes out afterwards.
Yep. Monkey King still dreaming of that Midas. Has the gloves in his backpack and still about 1,000 gold off the recipe, so it's going to be a bit delayed in terms of overall items. We've already got 1 Midas on the Doom. We've got Relic now, Inspector's Courier, so flying that in. So things are about to get a little bit nastier here for Liquid. That Radiance is looming very close.
Yep, Doom with his plus 80 Devour bonus gold talent and handle extremely fast now too, even without hitting creep. If he would just Devour it off cooldown and Midas, he would still keep up and farm with all these heroes. This is pretty scary. Radiance is pretty much complete now. It's coming out on the courier. Haunts up in 20 seconds. Witch Doctor saying his prayers. He's about to fall over when that thing comes out.
Yeah, just 1 Radiance Haunt can totally demolish Demon. Vengeful Spirit's going to have a tough time dealing with it as well. She's got the Dragon Lance up, so does Abed, but the items are just feeling a little bit lackluster right now. Shadow Fiend still not even, I mean, just barely breaking that halfway point in the net worth chart.
Dagger on Shaker now too.
Yeah, you got Blink on Doom, Blink on Shaker. This is going to be a very big fight from Liquid when they're ready to hit that trigger. Smoke up, getting ready. Spectre now has the Radiance, has the Haunt, and they're going to take a fight here, if nothing else, just soak in a tower that's falling on its own.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So moving in. Tinker with a blink as well. Wow, this team is very mobile.
Not a whole lot of catch when besides Monkey, but Monkey, I'm sure he'll be sitting on the side of the Tinker the entire time. But if that Haunt comes out again when they go on Tinker, could be very, very dangerous.
Oh, Abed. He's going out for the rune, but as soon as he retreats, he's going to walk right into these heroes. There's going to be the first Radiance Haunt going in. They top it off with a Blink Echo Slam. Yeah, this is exactly what Liquid wanted. Bulba now trapped under his own shrine. Dubu running back as well. Bulba has to pop his ult just because of the Urn. There will be a Wukong's command trying to donate one back. Spectre taking some damage. Dubu just kind of skirting around the edge of the circle, but will be killed off regardless. It's going to be an 0 for 3 as they're going to keep chasing down Bulba. A heat-seeking missile not quite going to do the job, but a blink in from Mind Control with that Infernal Blade will be able to get it done. Mind Control TP's out. Everyone going to be safe on the side of Liquid as there are 4 casualties on DC. It's looking like DC are just losing a lot of steam as this game moves into the mid-game.
Yep, that was 4 kills when the Haunt came out. Nobody on Liquid died at all. I guess DC do have Roshan potential. You know, perhaps they could smoke up and just run at Roshan, because DC or Team Liquid don't have any cooldowns right now. They used all their ultimates to take that team fight. That's perhaps the only opening I see for them right now, but it doesn't look like they're going to take it. I don't know. This is tough. This is what you're thinking about is the next game.
Yeah, again, DC have that 1 game advantage, so it's not all on the line here. They still get 1 game to redeem themselves if they can't bring this one back, but, well, they're not tapping out till the bitter end. But looking at that net worth, it is just spiking. And this is on the back of a Spectre and a Tinker that are getting absurdly farmed and show no signs of slowing down.
trying to tank up as much as possible, play that frontline role.
Figure now has the Aghanim Scepter queued up, so gonna make that laser even more lethal in these team fights. It just seems like DC, they had a really clear game plan when they picked this draft. They wanted to get mobile, they wanted to have successful lanes and early rotations, and that just didn't happen.
Yeah, it just didn't work out. Liquid had a lot of control over their safe lane. They were able to kill off the Abaddon. Mid lane was extremely rough for Abaddon and help him kind of do his own thing. And then Doom, once he got levels, he was actually very scary in the offlane. Doom and Crystal Maiden able to pretty much kill anyone in that.
Yeah, it feels like Mind Control kind of tried to play on this Doom the same way an Abaddon would, and it's being more successful than the Abaddon right now. Abba has his own Radiance queued up, but wow, they are going all in for this. Spectre's going to be getting ready to go. Monkey King just jumping away. There's a Doom spent out on Mason's Vengeful Spirit. This core Ven just feels like a support, feels so flimsy right now. There will be a TP out. Dubu gets back to safety. They aren't able to go and get vision for that frostbite, but still, Liquid now get free pressure into this lane, probably going to be able to turn it into the full tier 2 tower. But Matoma Man just sitting back, farming casually, and already has that Manta queued up as his next item.
Yep, he's accelerating the items. Tinker may have popped here. They wanted to tank the march. Not a lot of evil doing here. They just can't move a lot, I guess. Abaddon is getting close to his radiance at least. Almost at the relic for now.
Yeah, I mean, how much can this Abaddon Radiance change this up? If he's sitting with his teammates, if he's soaking up damage, if he's blocking missed chances, is that enough to get DC back in this?
Alone it's not, but it's definitely something. Go in their favor. I'm looking for things that can potentially help them get to that level where they can take fights, and they're very, very far away from that for now, but Radiance is definitely a step in the right direction. Monkey King almost has his Midas, he's about halfway there.
He's been working on that thing for like, so long.
Yeah, 10 minutes until same goal.
I mean, is this just not a great time for Monkey King to try to get that Midas? Should he have just bailed out a couple minutes ago and gone for the phase boots, gone for that core transition a little earlier? Oh, here we go. Wukong's command coming in. They're doing a fair amount to the Doom. He's going to be popping off that new Crimson Guard. Doesn't make it outside the circle. GH going to be blinking away as Miracle is ready to keep the spam up, popping out the heat-seeking missiles. And yeah, this is getting pretty tricky to deal with. Doom goes down, DC, they're all still up, and they will be able to do a fair number onto this tower. Will go down. Jump back in from Zubu. A little bit crazy there, but yeah. DC, they go in, they finally show some signs of life. We haven't seen a whole lot out of Abed here. Again, had a really difficult lane, went 0-4, and now a Haunt is just going to pin him down again. Okay, that's a godlike streak for our Spectre. That Radiance Haunt just came out and started decimating Team DC. Looks like Venge is going to be going down as well, finished off by the newly completed Dagon on Miracle.
Yep. DC, they actually, it was a nice maneuver from them. They forced the bottom tower. Liquid wanted to defend. That's their ultimates, hoping they can get away with it, but Dubu, hiding in the trees there, was able to get vision of it, and they just ported into a Wukong's command. I got some kills there, but of course, Spectre, Haunt came off full on, he pressed R, and everything.
Yep, Bulba, meanwhile, just gets exploded top lane. That was just something Tinker can repeat over and over and over again. Just the Dagon spam, it's only going to get worse as the Dagon gets upgraded. And yeah, the burst is just so ridiculous here. What's DC's plan against it? It seems like they're not quite tanky enough to live through any of these pushes.
Yeah, they just don't have the farm or the items. At this stage of the game, they're kind of just scrapping together for whatever kinds of farm they can get, but Abaddon, he's not going to be getting tanked for a really long time. Witch Doctor, same thing. Monkey King, same thing. He just got his Midas. All these heroes are just going to kind of melt to the Dagon right now. They need to hope that they can get another fight like they did at that tier 2 tower, where Monkey King was able to scout these heroes coming in, instead of like a tanker like that, and they can sort of gank them. They need to make sure they bring the numbers, or else Spectre's just gonna haunt and then kill him again. Haunt is up in 25 seconds. Kill Roshan extra quick with the Wave of Terror. There is no medallion up yet, but they have 1 negative armor. Liquid. They might know this is happening.
Yeah, it seems like they're sniffing it out. GH goes in. Fissure hits onto 2. There's going to be heat-seeking missiles blasting around. They do end up losing their Earthshaker. Wukong's command comes forward. They trap a Tumba Man in the circle, but he just walks right out. Monkey King getting low, killed off. It is looking pretty good for Liquid right now. Doom going to be sitting forward, gets the Doom off onto Abed. He just can't do anything. This poor guy is just being victimized here. Bulba pops his ult, he'll heal back up near full health, but then after that's over, he's a dead man. All of DC are dead in a 5-man wipe, trading only for the Earthshaker. Looks like Roche is theirs for the taking, but yeah, Liquid are quite ahead. About 20,000 net worth lead at the 27-minute mark.
Zero heroes you definitely do not want to play with or play against in their head. Spectre, Tanker, Late Game monsters, even the Doombringer.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it seems like DC just kind of, you know, they don't want to waste any more mental effort on this game, realizing it's just 99.9% of a lost cause. So gonna be looking towards game number 3. It's all coming down to it. These teams in the Kiev Major group stages trying to seed themselves nicely for the main event. So game 2 in the books. It was a quick one. It was just kind of DC trying to strat, didn't work, and Liquid, well, they executed exactly how they needed to.